Hello everyone, welcome back to Celebrity Amuse. Today we're talking about the one and only Kim Kardashian. Now, you're probably thinking, what does Kim Kardashian have to do with anything? Well, the answer is a lot. You see, when Kim invites someone over, it's not just any ordinary invitation. It comes with a few strict rules that must be followed to be welcomed into her home. And today, we're going to tell you the top 5 Kim Kardashian's strict rules for guests. So if you're brave enough to accept Kim's invitation, you better pay attention. Let's get started. Number 5. There is a no phone policy during meals. Kim Kardashian is a busy woman and she needs her meals to be a time of peace and relaxation. That's why she has a strict no phone policy during meals. It's a rule that must be followed, or else there will be consequences from the KKW matriarch. When the Kardashian family is sitting around the dinner table, the first thing Kim does is put away her phone. She then looks around to make sure everyone else has followed suit. If someone hasn't put their phone away, she'll give them a stern glance and a not-so-subtle reminder that there's no phone policy in effect. But if that reminder isn't enough, Kim will take matters into her own hands. She'll grab the offending phone and throw it across the room with a firm no phones at the dinner table. You can hear a collective gasp around the table as everyone scrambles to get their phones out of the way. The no phone policy is taken seriously in the Kardashian household, but that doesn't mean it can't be fun. Kim will often add a humorous twist to her reminders, like a funny joke or pun. That way, everyone can still enjoy their meal without the distraction of their phones. So if you ever find yourself invited to dinner at Kim Kardashian's house, make sure you remember the no phone policy. It's a rule that must be obeyed, or else you might just find yourself on the receiving end of a well-aimed phone throw. Number 4. The signing of a non-disclosure clause by her visitors pledges to keep any talks said within the home confidential. Kim is one of those people who likes to keep things private and secure. The only way she will let you into her house is if you sign a non-disclosure form that states that you agree to not share or talk about anything you see or hear while in her home. She's very serious about this policy and makes sure to remind every guest who comes to her house that if they want to stay, they need to sign the form first. Kim has a sense of humor about this rule, though. She likes to joke that if you break the rule, she'll have to send her ninja-trained security guard after you. And if that doesn't work, she'll have to deploy her team of silent but deadly fart-sniffing cats to track you down and make sure you keep her secrets. She also likes to remind guests that being in her home is a privilege, not a right. So if you want to stay and have a good time, you need to sign the non-disclosure form. Otherwise, it's adios amigos. Number 3. Children are not permitted to play in Kim Kardashian's all-white living room. Kim Kardashian has a strict rule that her kids are not allowed to play in her all-white living room. She's very particular about keeping her living room looking pristine and flawless, and she doesn't want it to get messed up with crayons, Legos, or paint. So whenever her kids go to play in the living room, they hear Kim's stern voice ringing through the house, "No playing in the white living room." No matter how much they beg and plead, they know that they won't be able to get away with it. Kim's got this joke that she tells her kids when they try to plead their case. If you play in the white living room, I'll have to turn it into a black living room. Then she'll laugh and the kids will groan. But no matter how hard her kids try, Kim's living room remains a spotless white paradise. It's a reminder to the kids that sometimes rules are strict for a reason. Number 2. The prohibition on jewelry display. This rule might have been made by Kim Kardashian, but it's one that we all should live by. Because if there's one thing we can learn from Kim's terrifying experience, it's that you should never flaunt your jewelry in public. Let's face it, there is nothing glamorous about being held at gunpoint, having your $8 million engagement ring stolen, and then being bound, gagged, and locked in a bathroom. It's a nightmare. So, to avoid any similar experiences in the future, Kim wisely created a strict rule: no jewelry on display. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, while this rule might not be the most fun or glamorous, it's an important reminder that we should all be taking extra precautions when it comes to our jewelry. So, if you want to stay safe and keep your precious pieces of jewelry safe, then follow Kim's rule and keep your jewelry off the display. Number 1. On her $150 million plane, there is a don't breathe, don't touch a thing regulation. It seems that Kim Kardashian has set a strict rule for all her guests who come to visit her on her $150 million jet. Her rules are like, do not breathe or do not even dare touch a thing. Now, if you think about it, it's kind of ridiculous. But it's also pretty funny. Kim must have been feeling very protective of her private jet and all the expensive things inside it. She was likely contemplating, on my spotless plane, nobody best dare breathe or else. Additionally, I do not want any of my fingerprints on my possessions. She is taking additional precautions to prevent anyone from disturbing her opulent plane and its upscale amenities. So, if you ever get invited over to her fancy, iconic jet, you better be on a watch out to every rule. Although there are a plethora of weirdest rules that Kim has in store for her wardrobe for her guests, these ones are just epic. Comment down below what's your thought on her rules. See you soon on our next video.